Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. You've got a story to share, a message to inspire, and a passion ready to ignite. But where do you start? The world is waiting for your voice. With From Idea to Implementation, Start Your Own Podcast, you'll get the roadmap to turn your vision into reality. This isn't just a course, it's your launching pad. Step by step, we'll break down the process from defining your purpose to recording your first episode so you can finally share your voice with confidence. Stop overthinking it and start doing it. Your voice has the power to connect and lead. Are you ready to use it? Join the waitlist today. Your podcast journey starts now. The world is waiting. You can find the link to sign up for the waitlist in the show notes. We'll see you soon. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Heather Eck. She is an intuitive painter and artist. How you doing today, Heather? So happy to have you here.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's nice to see you.
It's wonderful to see you too, and I'm really happy that you're here and we're finally doing this. I know we've been trying to get this done for a while, so it's nice to finally have you here. So with that being said, let us jump right in. Now, as mentioned, you are an intuitive painter and artist. Was there for you a defining moment or experience that ignited your passion for art, leading you to become a painter? And how long have you been painting for?
So I was always a really creative kid. Art has been a part of my life since I was really young, but it wasn't until probably my late 30s, I was working in human resources for a video game company, that I kind of felt like there was no amount of time off that was going to make me feel better. I was just really wiped out. And working with a spiritual teacher at the time, and we talked about what were my gifts, what was my purpose, what was I here to do, and reignited this love of art that I had as a child. And that was kind of the catalyst to get me back into painting again. And I think I started painting again probably in 2016, 2017, and I have been on a roll since then. Haven't put my brushes down.
I love it. And so for you, what does the term an intuitive artist mean to you? And how do you channel that intuition into your creations?
Yeah. So there are two, I think, definitions of intuitive artists. One is some people, when they're painting a landscape or painting something representational, will plan out what it looks like and be methodical about that approach. Some intuitive artists, though, will approach a canvas without any plan at all and just let their intuition kind of guide them. And so that's me on the intuitive side. I generally don't start out with a plan, but I also leverage my intuition through reading color, receiving messages, and being able to read people's energy or emotions and create a portrait for them that tells a story about where they might be feeling stuck in their spiritual, emotional, or physical body. And so it takes on both definitions of intuitive for me.
Now, when you say reading color, what does that mean?
So I have the ability to see people's auras and to read through their chakras to determine whether or not they're feeling balanced or supported in that individual chakra. So I can walk into a room and quickly determine where people are emotionally, what's going on with them, and then be able to read their color energy. And I'll say, oh, this person's feeling very blue today. And that blue might be that they're stuck in their throat chakra. There's something they're trying to communicate, but they just can't get it out. And so it's both impressions, intuition, and also being able to see somebody's aura colors in person too.
Okay, now is that synesthesia?
That's right.
What that is?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna talk about that. You can get a little more in depth as to what synesthesia is when we move into that part of the conversation.
Awesome.
And so I'm curious, Heather, what drives, motivates, and inspires you to keep going and excelling at all that you do?
I have to say it's God. I really have this, since I was a little kid, this deep desire to understand like the bigger mysteries of the world and the universe, like even so much that I remember specifically being at the library when I was probably 10 or 11 years old, like in the spirituality religion section, really looking at what is the world? Like, what is all of this, and trying to understand it. I think I have this overwhelming fear that I will be disappointing God, higher power, the universe, if I don't do the work I'm here to do. And I think that's to be in service of people. And that makes me keep going, honestly. And being a small business owner and artist, it's like a roller coaster ride. There are some days that are awesome.
Oh, yes.
And some days where you're like, what am I getting what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
I should just give up, go back to work full time. But it keeps me going to know that there are people that I connect with whose lives are changed or affected in some positive way. And I love to be able to help support that. And that's what keeps me going.
I love that you mentioned the fact that you feel like you have to keep going because this is what you are here to do. And I feel of the same mindset that I was chosen to do the work that I do. And it's not really like I don't have, I mean, yes, of course I do. We always have a choice, but it's like you've just got this inner feeling and drive this is what I'm here to do. I can't not do this work. It's part of why I was put here on the planet, and I have to do it. I do say I don't have a choice because this is what I was meant to do. But of course, again, we always have a choice. We can choose not to. Of course we can. But it's that inner knowing that this is why I was put here and I have to do this work. This is my mission on this planet. And I will be letting people down. I will be letting spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, I will be letting them down if I don't continue on the path and do the work. And I will be letting the people in my community around in my space, I will be letting them down by not doing this work. I'm here to serve. I'm here to be in and of service to people. That's why we're all here, I believe, that's a big part of our purpose on this planet, is to be in and of service to one another.
Yep. I agree. I wholly agree. I think that's so important too, because I think we're all meant to be of service to each other. And I think our gifts are meant to, I think we're all like Avengers, right? We've all got these spiritual gifts and these tools that we're meant to help each other with. And I think when we actively choose not to, we're stopping some aspect of healing from taking place. And so I think every engagement that we have with somebody is an opportunity to support and to show love in some way. So I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
We are all here with a gift or multiple gifts. And excuse me, when you choose not to pursue that, you are depriving the world of your gift. And it's your duty, it's your responsibility to share your gifts with the world, because the gifts are for the people out in the world. They're not for you.
Right.
And so you're here to give those gifts and share those gifts with the world. The world needs to see them. The world needs them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm curious, firstly, do you have any formal art training, or are you completely self-taught? This is a 3-part. Secondly, what are your thoughts on formal education or training around art? And thirdly, in your opinion, is it absolutely necessary for formal training, or are you of the mind that you don't need to have any training to be an artist? You just tune in or do whatever feels right for you.
Yeah. Oh gosh, those are great questions. So I minored in art in college. I think it was dancing around the periphery of my degree. I think had I followed my own intuition, I would have studied art in college, but I felt very strongly just in talking to your parents and talking to people that old, you're not going to make money as an artist.
Oh, yes.
Find
yes,
another way.
Added, you can't make money as an artist.
You can't make money. And so I listened to that. And so I allowed myself a little bit of that artistic fulfillment through a minor in art, but definitely not like an art degree. I just came back from France. I did a 2-week artist residency there with writers and filmmakers and composers and other artists. And there were people there who went to art school, Savannah College of Art and Design, and these amazing schools. And it was so fascinating for me because I didn't grow up in that space to hear how much they knew about art and the way they were able to talk about it and look at my work and talk about the composition and how this piece worked in this piece. And I was just fascinated by that because I just look at something and go, oh, that's so moving. I love that song, makes me cry. Why is that? I think there are actual technical reasons why things really don't work.
So I have to ask you then, during that time, because of the training that these other artists, was there any imposter syndrome that creeped in? Did you start feeling Anything that's, oh man, I'm not at the same level as these people?
That is an excellent question. I have to say that no, not at all.
Okay.
And I think it's because I had never been in a group of just artists, writers, people who live in that creative space all the time. And there's something so magical about being around other creatives because you don't have to explain who you are and you don't have to kind of justify why you make.
Yeah.
They just get it. And so it felt like I was walking into a space where people just automatically saw me and I saw them, and it was beautiful. That it was just the most magnificent experience ever. It made me feel more like an artist, actually, because I felt like, oh, they get what I do and I get what they do. And we just, I think, wanted to learn more about each other's creative processes, which is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow there. We were talking about artistic training. And do you think it's necessary?
I think it has a place, absolutely, where you can improve your skills. When we were there, we did a live drawing class, which I had never done before. It was with a nude model, and we sat and drew that person. And that was really cool. I had never gotten to do that before. And I think that absolutely improved my sketching ability in that 2-hour time. So I think there's absolutely a place for it. When I teach workshops for people, they generally don't have a lot of art experience, and I think that's awesome. Number one, I think just making anything with your hands, bread, art, crochet, whatever it is, you're getting out of your mind and you're calming everything down and you're inviting this place of peace and stillness in. And so there's something really healing about that. And I always say to them, this is not something you have to show, sell, or share. This is just for you. And so if it looks like a hot mess, that's fine. You got the benefit of the stress relief while you were making. But I do think that it's fantastic to be able to take classes and improve upon and to learn. There was an artist there who I kept saying, you have to be teaching what you know, because she would come into my studio and say, have you ever thought about doing this? Have you ever thought about that? And she knew so much about art that I was like, oh man, you should be teaching this stuff. This is great. I would totally take your classes just to learn more about what's awesome.
I don't know about you, but for me, I mean, I don't know how to word it. Drawing is not my strong suit, we'll say. So for me, if I were to sit in a class where we had to draw, it would stress me out more because I can't do it. Drawing is not my thing. I think it'd be hard. And I think that this is something that comes up for a lot of adults, because as kids, I think that we just create art. I mean, we have art class in school and we just create, we don't care. We color outside the lines, we paint whatever, and we're not concerned, or we're not, what's the word I'm looking for? We're not, for lack of a better term, I can't remember the word I was looking for, but we're not worried about the outcome and what it looks like. But as we grow up, I think that childlike innocence and creativity gets conditioned out of us, where we start to worry. As I just explained, I'd be stressed out because I can't draw this person sitting, like, what the hell? So I think it's great to be able to return to that childlike creativity. And it makes me kind of sad that it gets conditioned out of us because of everything as adults. Oh, you can't color out, so these rules and regulations, and you got to do this, and it's got to be done this way. And no, art is subjective. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. But it's getting past your own thoughts and jumping those hurdles, because we are our own worst enemies. Yeah. It's so funny. Worst critics. And our worst critics. I think that being around all of those other creatives was so healing, I think, in a way, because 2 quick stories. There was one gentleman who was sitting next to me who, during the live drawing, he's a screenwriter. So he was like, I can't draw. I'm just here for the fun of this. That's sweet. But honestly, what was so interesting about his work was that it was just these really loose, intentional lines. And it wasn't very detailed, but when he put it on the floor next to all of our other drawings, because we all kind of at the end looked at what we had done, this was so interesting. And it was a piece that everybody went, who did that? Because that is so unique. And he just had to tell people's unique mark making by the end. And so he might think he couldn't draw, but we were all drawn to what he made. It was awesome. And then there was another time where there were writers, they were writing screenplays, novels, and shows. And I sat in on one of their writer circles because I had written a short story about what happened to me on the train on my way there. And so being in that place, I didn't go in there thinking, oh, I'm a writer, but sharing what I had written
was really awesome because I got feedback on that and people said, that was good. You should keep writing that. That's a good story. So it's kind of, I think we put, like you said, we put these limitations on ourselves when really, if you just kind of create for creating's sake, it's a wonderful feeling, and you don't ever have to share it, but just do it. Just have fun.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me being a photographer, when I take my camera out into, let's say New York City, if I go to New York City with my camera, I could get lost and just wander around that city for hours on end and not even like, just love it, just be in love because I'm capturing what my eye sees. And that's my, as you mentioned, when we're doing things, working with our hands or whatever, and we're in that creative zone, it's just like, it's so calming. That's my form of meditation, is walking around a city with my camera and capturing image. That's my zone. I love doing that. And that lights me up to be able to do that. So that's where I flourish, when I'm just walking around, no pressure. No one's, okay, we got to go. We got to be here. We got to be there. Just walk and just go. It is a meditative experience for me.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. And even just watching you talk about that, your whole energy like eased into this place where you emanate this love that you have for taking pictures of what is interesting to you. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really healing, and it's really calming.
It is.
I could see your spirit just bubble up with happiness about it.
It's an amazing feeling. It really is. To be in that creative zone and to think about capturing something that will never, it's like a snapshot of a moment. You can never capture that exact same thing ever again. And how incredible is that? How powerful and beautiful is the thought of that? That moment is gone and you'll never get it again. But I have captured it in a photograph.
What a great concept for a show, right? Like the fleeting moments that you capture, just these things that are happening around you. That's your next photography show. I'm going to come see
There
it.
we go. All right. Beautiful. I love that. So keeping in this same vein, Heather, I hear a lot of people say, as I mentioned with the drawing, but not to this extent, I don't have a creative bone in my body. It's just not who I am, or it's not within them. What are your thoughts when you hear people say that? And how do you counter that if someone says that to you?
Yeah, I think we're all creative. I think we're made in the image of the creator. Everything that we see around us was created. Art is not just limited to music and art on walls and photographs, but everything, the chair I'm sitting on, this microphone, the computer, it's all been created by someone. So whether you create press releases or you create bread or you create whatever it is, I think we all have this innate desire to make and to put something beautiful out in the world. You just have to find what it is that feels good to you. Like for you, it's photography. For me, it's paint. For somebody else, it might be cupcakes. It could really be anything that makes you light up.
Cooking.
Oh yeah. My son is a chef at 12 years old. He lives for cooking.
I love it. I love cooking too. I love to cook. I love to bake. It's just, again, it's that you get into that meditative, it's almost like a meditative state. It's just, okay, I just shut the kitchen door and just do my thing. Leave me alone, stay out of my space, and I just let me create. And I just love it.
Chopping the vegetables. Yeah. That's meditative. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So where do you pull your inspiration from when you're creating a new piece of work?
I definitely pull inspiration from my spirituality. I'm a student of the Bible, so I'm always kind of looking at different things that feel interesting to me and kind of looking at words that are used and passages and just kind of trying to build a deeper relationship with God and my spirituality. So it definitely comes from that. But it also comes from, I think, this desire to just understand what's happening in the world around us. Especially today, there's so much grief in the world. There's so much pain. Trying to kind of find ways to offer perspectives on that are uplifting and healing and that help people think about things in different ways. I like to meditate. I like to just kind of sit quietly. I love to listen to music, and all of that helps to fuel whatever is coming out onto the canvas for me.
Yeah, beautiful. And so what is your favorite thing, or what lights you up the most about being an artist?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to narrow that down. I think, honestly, for me, it's about finishing a painting, walking away from it, and then coming back to it the next day to go, oh, okay, cool. I like that. There are times where I was just shared a funny thing in my stories on Instagram. It was like, when do you know it's your last mark on the painting, or just one more stroke, like just one more thing,
Yeah.
knowing when to stop working on something. And I'll leave a painting up on the studio. I'm looking over at my studio wall. I'll leave it up there for a couple of days and just kind of live with it for a bit and ask it, are you done? Do you feel complete? So I love being able to kind of look at something and communicate with whether or not it's finished or not, and see something new in it if you give it a little space.
Beautiful. I would love to know, being an artist, of course, we all experience creative blocks. So at some point, some more than others, sometimes more than others. How do you deal with those creative blocks when they come up for you? What have you found to be the most helpful for you to get through those?
Mm-hmm. I have found that taking a break is the best thing for me. It's like a Sabbath of nothing. It might be laying on the couch all day long and just being still. It might be going to a museum and just looking really closely at the brush strokes on somebody else's work that makes me feel like, oh, I want to make brush strokes. I want to create something, but just giving myself space from it is the best thing. I feel very frustrated at times if I'm working on a piece and I'm getting in the way of what it needs to look like, and it's not turning out the way I want it to look. Then I know I got to step away and take a minute.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of artists, painters, writers, musicians, they have a creative process when they set out to create their art. Describe your creative process. How do you navigate the balance between inspiration and discipline when approaching a painting?
Oh, that's a great question. I think there are pieces that I work on in the studio that are larger pieces or things that are just inspired by whatever it is that I'm feeling that day. And there has been very little discipline in my art practice, I think, until I went to this residency and then realized how important it is to have a practice and a discipline. And so I'm working on that now that I'm back, going, okay, can you make something every day? Can you do something each day, even if it's just for 20 minutes? When I'm doing a spirit portrait for somebody, which is when I'm painting their color energy, that for me is a very disciplined process where I put on music, I sit and meditate, I look at their picture, I write down what comes through for them, and then I start their work. And that has a very specific creative process for me. But when I'm working on something big just for myself, it's not very disciplined. It's very just loosey-goosey.
Which is sometimes the best thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Now, I love to ask this question of creatives and hearing different artists' thoughts on this. As a creative, do you think that we are all born with an innate creativity? I mean, I think about this quite a bit when it comes to athletes, artists, musicians. Are people just born with a natural ability, or is it something you can learn, practice, and hone and eventually become artistic? Some people, I mean, you think about the greats, right? The great Van Gogh and musician Beethoven and all of these people. It's almost like they came out of the womb with a paintbrush, or they came out of the womb with a guitar or drumsticks or whatever it is, right? With this natural ability that is just there. I think that those people, of course, they have to work at their skill set still. They have to practice in order to keep up that skill level. But I think that they're just born with this exceptional skill level. And then there's the people like yourself, myself, and everyone else, the common, whatever term you want to use, that we have to work at it, of course. And again, not to say that they don't have to work at it either. Of course they do, but it's almost like they're otherworldly because of their talent, and they've just come out that way. Do you think that someone like myself or yourself or anybody else for that matter can achieve that level of skill set if they practice hard enough, or is that unattainable to get to that level in your thought?
Oh, man, that's such a great question. I think if you look back or if you watch kids, they are innately creative and curious, and they just play. And I think if you watch children when they're young, what they're interested in or what they're naturally drawn to is what they're here to do. I think that shows up when we're really young. And I think, so for me personally, art was there when I was maybe 2 or 3 years old. It was
Okay.
always around me. It existed. I took art classes as a kid. I played guitar. I was in chorus. I did drama. Like creative expression was around me. And then I stepped away from it in favor of the day job in human resources that I think about what would happen had I just continued down that path. But I
Hmm.
also think there's something to be said for just showing up consistently and doing the work. And I think half of life, maybe more than half of life, is showing up and just
Yeah.
doing something consistently. And I think it's about raising your hand and asking for opportunity and throwing your hat in the ring for things and being able to say, yeah, I want to try that, or hey, I'd love to do that, or I'm going to keep practicing this thing. If you're a writer, write every day, even if it's just 500 words. If you're a painter, paint every day, even if it's just something really small, just to continue to keep that curiosity and that energy moving. So I do think that we can achieve that greatness or that high level of esteem. But I think that you also have to show effort and put effort in and make it a part of your day-to-day routine.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard stories of famous musicians and when they were growing up and first getting into playing their instruments or whatever it was, they would sit in their bedrooms and practice for hours and hours on end, but they loved doing it. So it didn't seem like work. So I
Yeah.
guess if you practice, I mean, you don't have to go to that extreme where you're spending hours a day practicing in your room, but I don't know, that it's just, I find that question very interesting. I love to hear people's thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And it's some of the, like I said, some of these musicians and athletes, it's almost like they were just
They're
born with
bored
that
with it.
skill set. And
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Now,
Yeah.
do you believe that art, particularly your paintings, can serve as a tool for empowerment or social change? And if so,
Mhm.
how?
Absolutely. I do. I think that art makes us look at things different ways. I think music makes us feel. I think all art kind of moves the spirit. I think it moves the soul. It stirs the soul. So I do think that there's, especially art making, there's, my friend Emily says the message is in the medium. Whatever medium you choose to use to create whatever you create, there's a message in that too. And there's, I think, absolutely the ability to affect how we see the world and how we choose to interact with each other in the world. And I think it sets us up for change if we're willing to be engaged in some sort of movement for change too.
Mm,
Yeah.
for sure. Art is a very powerful tool for healing, for social change, for so much. It's an incredible thing. It really is.
It is.
Now, reflecting on your own artistic journey, how have you evolved as an artist in terms of both style and the messages you aim to convey through your art?
Oh my gosh. When I first started painting, it was letting out steam a little bit at a time because I hadn't painted or created for so long that I didn't really even know what my style was. I think I was doing paint pouring to start,
Mhm.
just kind of go, okay, let's just see what comes out. Let's play with this. Literally get your hands and your pants covered in paint and kind of go, what is this about? And started out in my garage painting and would take a day off of work here or there to just kind of create all day. And then that
Mhm.
evolved into, oh, there are people who want to see this work. Let's get it out into shows. Let's apply for shows. Let's see what's coming out of there. That evolved into, let me paint your energy and show you what I see for you and talk about it. And that evolved into, hey, you should talk to this person. She can see your energy. She can paint your portrait. And then that evolved to being in France for 2 weeks, doing an artist residency where I just got to be in a studio around other creatives and paint for 5-6 hours a day, which was amazing. So
Phenomenal.
it was awesome. It's awesome. And I think that my style, I feel like I cemented my style while in France because I was able to just work consistently for hours. And what I found was that the marks that I was making were consistent and the shapes that came out were consistent. And I kind of looked at it and went, I think that's my work. I think that's my style and I'm comfortable with it versus before where I would go, I don't know if this is my style. Is this me? I don't know if I like it. Do I
Mhm.
like those marks? Do I want to make different marks? But now I feel very comfortable with it. And that's given me a lot more confidence too.
It takes a while to settle in and find your style, I think, and as you said, constantly creating in order to figure out what your style is.
Yeah. And I think even still, it will continue to evolve. Who knows what my work will look like at the end of this year? It could be totally different. But
because we are evolving.
Exactly. Constantly.
So, yeah, absolutely. Now, as we've mentioned multiple times, art has the power to heal. Have there been instances where your art or the act of creating has been a source of personal healing and transformation for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when I was just returning back to a creative practice, I felt like there were these deep releases of pain, of sadness. I would paint and I would cry, and then I would show somebody a piece that I created for them and they would see it and they would cry. And I felt like there was just as much healing for me in that work as there was for that person. And then I think that as I started to learn and uncover more about what the shapes meant or the symbols meant or the colors meant for somebody, I could see myself reflected in that work too. And I think that creating was always a big part of my spirit as a young person. I think for a long time that lay dormant in me. And so the fact that it's now able to come out is really healing. And so I feel very grateful that I get to do that.
That was beautiful. I love it. And so powerful. Now, creating and sharing art, of course, is incredibly vulnerable. And I believe it requires confidence for sure. So how do you navigate exposing personal emotions or stories in your work? And what has helped build your confidence as an artist? And what impact do you think vulnerability has on the viewer's experience?
Oh my gosh. I think it is so important. I think number one, anytime you share your work, you're being vulnerable because you're putting something that you created out into the world. And for me personally, like I have this deep desire to be accepted and loved by everybody. And so my first feeling is I want you to love this work. And if you don't love it, it's hard not to take that personally. But I also think I've learned that not everybody's going to shelter under your tree, and the people that you're meant to connect with will find your work, and they are the ones that will enjoy looking at it, just like music. My husband listens to heavy metal and I listen to classical meditative music. So he's not going to listen to my music and I'm probably not going to listen to his, but that's okay. Right, yeah. I think with time, I've gotten more and more vulnerable. I just posted a reel this morning that I felt was pretty vulnerable, but I'm learning that I think the more authentic and the more honest you show up, the more people can kind of look at you and go, I see myself in you too. And so I'd like to share in that conversation. So I think it's important when you feel comfortable. Yeah,
for sure. I think authenticity and vulnerability creates relatability. And I remember I struggled a lot with sharing my art. I thought, oh, what if this person doesn't, what if I get hateful comment? It is an incredibly vulnerable thing because you've created that from your heart, from your mind, from you. This is a piece of you, this art piece, whatever it is, photograph, painting, that's a piece of you. And you're putting it out there for people to see. But you got to get to the point where it's, you know what, just as you said, those who enjoy my art or my work will find it. And those that don't, that's okay. There's always going to be people out there that don't resonate with what you create or what you're doing, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Now, if someone wanted to use color and intuitive painting as a tool for self-discovery or healing, where would you suggest that they start?
I think you can kind of play around with therapeutic art here, where you can kind of go, you can ask yourself with a pile of crayons or colored pencils or markers, what am I feeling today? How am I feeling? What's the word? And what color does that feel like? If I had to associate a color with it, what color would it be? And then what shape does it look like? And just kind of starting to apply some sort of visual to how you feel is a great way to just start to express what it is that you're going through and kind of play with it. And then I think you start to build like a library for yourself of, oh, I'm feeling confident today. Confidence to me feels like yellow. Oh, I want to wear a yellow shirt today. Or I'm feeling grouchy today. Grouchy feels like black to me. I think I'm going to wear all black today and just kind of go out into the world like that. So I think you kind of start to build a little bit of a dictionary or a library for yourself of color and shape and meaning.
Love it.
Use that intentionally.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Okay. So let's jump into this synesthesia thing. For those who are listening who might not know or have never heard of synesthesia, can you explain it?
Yeah, absolutely. Synesthesia it's kind of the easiest way to define it is when your senses get crossed in your brain. And so if I smell something in my mind, I see it as a color and a shape. If I hear music, I'll see the music notes or the sounds making shapes and colors. If you hear so there's over 80 forms of synesthesia. I've got quite a few of them. The simplest is if I say to you Monday, does Monday have a color to you? Does Monday have a shape to you? Does it? So
No.
Most people are like, nope. But synesthetes are like, oh yeah, Monday's red. The number 8 is blue. Like we just associate color and shape to all the way that we kind of experience life in many different forms. And so mine comes in through that. And it also comes in through being able to see auras. That's a form of synesthesia too.
Okay. That is wild. And so can you describe what it feels like to experience synesthesia and how does it influence your creative process?
So it's something that's been with me since I was a little kid, and I just assumed that everybody had it, where I would lay on my floor and listen to music, and I would draw what the music looked like and the shapes that it made for me. I didn't know what that was. I just thought I was this weird little kid who was into like spirituality and would draw music. And I don't know, that was just kind of who I was. But I would pay attention to color in films and movies. I was constantly wanting to change the colors of my bedroom, I think to match what I was feeling or seeing or experiencing at home. And it feels a little bit like you have an extra amount of choreography in your head as you're going through life. And so it's a fun way to interact with people. When I meet people, I'll get an instant impression about who they are and I'll experience them with the shape that they make. So if somebody is kind of prickly to me or not really someone I want to engage with, they'll feel spiky or they'll feel like pointy to me. But if there's somebody who's really gentle and kind, I'll experience them really soft. It'll be like a light blue color or white, like really calming. It's just been a really colorful way to go through life.
That's wild. Does it ever get incredibly overwhelming for you?
It does sometimes. I try to tune it out if I'm in a place with a lot of people, because that can get overwhelming. I'm an introvert too, so I'm somebody who needs to retreat to kind of regenerate energy. And so being in the chateau and the residency with everybody, there were times at night where I was like, I just need an hour by myself because it was so much, but it was also really great at the same time. So there are ways I can tune in and tune out.
That is so wild. If someone could step inside your mind while you're creating, while you're painting, what would they experience?
Oh my gosh. I think they'd experience a web browser with 19 open tabs. 6 of them are playing songs. There's like a ticker tape of something. Like, I think that sometimes my mind is like a really active web browser. There's so much going on in there. But sometimes when I'm painting, it's just me and the paint and a conversation with God. And so I find that's where I am the most quiet and where I can tune things out and where I really try to just listen to whatever's coming through. Right before I paint, it's probably like chaos creation here. But then while I'm in the process of it, it's, let's play with this gold. Oh, I like the sound the brush is making. Oh, that sounds so nice. Or look at this color. Watch that drip. It calms it all down.
That sounds very calming, actually. I love it. That is wild. If someone listening to this podcast feels drawn to creating but doubts themselves, what would you say to them?
Oh my gosh, just grab a coloring book and just let yourself play a little bit. I think it's very easy to, like we talked about earlier, to put these parameters around what you can or can't do or what you're good at. I'm not a good drawer. Oh, I can't sketch. I don't know how to write music. But I think if you just let yourself play a little bit, like just start coloring, just start doodling, go back to like your 7th grade classroom and draw all over your notebook and just see how you feel when you're doing that. And again, you don't have to show it, sell it, or share it with anybody, but just make for making's sake. I think that's so important.
Beautiful advice. Thank you for sharing that. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
think honestly, my stick-to-itiveness is something that has helped me. I really don't give up very easily. I fail fast, and I'm okay with failing. If I try something and it doesn't work, I go, okay, that didn't work. We're going to try something new. Let's pivot. But I definitely, like we talked about at the beginning, just have this deep desire to not let God down and to not let, my spirit down, and really just try to keep going. So I think that unwillingness to give up is super helpful to me.
Love it. Now, speaking of success, what does that word mean to you? How do you define success?
I used to define success by the title that I had at work or the salary that I had, and whether or not I got exceeds expectations on my performance review. Since I've left corporate and become my own boss and someone who has to wear many hats, I'm sure you know this too, like you're your own marketing person, you're your PR person, you're your tech person, you are wearing all the hats. To me, it's about continuing to do the work each day, but knowing that each day will look different, because you can't really write a performance review for yourself when you work for yourself. I don't really define success by money that I earn or by pieces sold, but really, do I feel good about what I did that day? Was I able to connect with somebody and help them? Am I trying each day to be better? And that to me feels like success.
I love that definition. Yeah. It's not about the money. And I think the exciting part about entrepreneurship is that every day is different. It keeps it interesting.
It really does.
Yeah. Some days you ride the struggle bus all day, and other days you just soar. It's amazing.
Yeah. It is a roller coaster ride.
Oh,
it's
my
unlike
God.
anything I've ever experienced.
I think that entrepreneurship is right up there in terms of difficulty with relatability to raising kids. It is hard, and it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. I think that's why you have to kind of go into it with this stick-to-itiveness. You have to give it time. You have to give it effort. You have to take care of yourself, because you are the person doing the job.
Yeah.
So there's so much that we learn day to day.
It tests you in so many ways. It shows you muscles you never even knew you had.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm super grateful that I spent almost 20 years in corporate, because I really learned how to do how to respond to emails, how to schedule meetings, like all of the administrative tactical side of being in business helps me a ton on my own administrative side. Here, it's helped me be organized, but I also think it taught me how to engage in conversation and how to connect with people and how to, I think, just be responsible. So I'm super grateful that I had all of that time, because that has, it's a layer, it's like a foundation for the business now that is super helpful to me.
For sure. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before you learned it? And what was your life like after learning it?
Honestly, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that I operate from a place of wanting to be accepted and loved by everyone. It's a wound of mine. I want you to love me. I want you to care for me. That has put me in a place of being a people pleaser, of being a yes person, and of, I think, what's the word? Like, not having strong boundaries of any kind for my life. Now that I know that, I'm in recovery of the people pleasing phase of my life, which is I'm in my 40s now. You can imagine doing so much of your life for the sake of other people instead of living life from a place of what brings me joy, what makes me happy, what makes me feel whole. And so I'm a work in progress when it comes to that, trying to accept the fact that not everybody's, like I said, going to shelter under your tree, that you will find people who are not open and accepting of you and who you are. And that's okay. You just wipe the dust off your feet and you move on to something new. But that's now trying to, even yesterday, talking to a friend about boundaries and what does that look like for me and how do I approach that conversation with somebody. And it's a constant work in progress. For sure.
We are constant works in progress. Absolutely. 100%. What does the word empowerment mean to you, Heather?
Oh my gosh. I think empowerment means the ability to do things that feel good to you. You feel empowered to create for creating's sake. I feel empowered to have this conversation with you. I think it's creating a space that you are comfortable being yourself in, that you feel safe being vulnerable in, and that you feel like you have given yourself permission to do what brings you joy in this life.
Beautiful. What is an unexpected blessing or occurrence in your life that you're grateful for?
My gosh, there's so much I could say. I have a really strong spiritual community of people who see each other as just beautiful, wonderful, strong, capable, empowered people. And we support each other and we kick each other's butts when we're not doing the right things. And they are all such a blessing to me that I honestly can't believe that I found them or was led to them, really, because I think that I was led to them, and they make every day better.
Love it. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing. Okay. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Kind.
If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
Too many open tabs.
I could probably wear that one too. What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
My heart for people.
What is your personal motto?
Keep going.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Color is healing.
What is your favorite self-care practice?
Sleep.
And that concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time.
Okay.
If you could take one feeling or belief and bottle it up and give it to people, what would it be?
Faith, I think. Faith in things that are unseen, faith in yourself, faith in other people, and faith in the good that is possible when we all come together.
How do you celebrate your wins?
I am not great at this. I am working on this. I really have to remind myself to look at the things that have happened and go, that was awesome. You should celebrate that. You did a good thing. This is awesome. So I'm not great at that. I want to be better at that this year.
Okay. If you could have any 3 people in the world, alive or dead, sitting at your dinner table with you for dinner, who would those 3 people be and why?
I've got to go with Jesus. Number one, I think he would just be a fantastic person to get to know. You're going to laugh at this next one, Freddie Mercury. I have a major crush on him and his creative process and the life that he led. And I just think he's remarkable.
Yes. And a killer voice. One of the best voices in music ever.
Incredible. And he's just unapologetically himself. And I just think that's awesome. And I think I'd have to have my grandmother, my nanny, because I think she's ahead of her time. And I think she would love to have dinner with those folks too. And I'd love to have her back even for a short time.
Beautiful. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Oh my gosh. What color do you see around me right now?
Okay. There you go. What color do you see around me right now?
You have a lot of blue up around the top of your head. So blue is a color of the throat chakra. So you're sitting in the space of communication and authenticity today.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
I have been thinking about this question since I saw it. I really am having trouble with answering it. I feel like there are so many remarkable women. I really don't think I can narrow it down to just one. I know. I'm like, oh, what about this person? What about that person?
Who was the first person that popped into your mind when you saw the question?
My grandmother, really.
There you go.
Yeah, my nan. She's been around me a lot lately, so I feel like, yeah, I'd love to chat with her some more.
Beautiful. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Don't listen to what anybody else says to you. Follow your curiosity and keep being weird. It'll serve you well.
Let your freak flag fly.
Exactly.
Lastly, Heather, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your people, your tribe, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
You are all beautiful and wonderful people. Don't let what anybody says about you prevent you from being your most authentic self. You are here to do incredible, wonderful, big things that you cannot even possibly imagine. and each day have faith that you're being led down the path that feels the most authentic to you, and keep looking for opportunities to reach your hand back and pull people along with you to create as much good and love in the world as possible.
Beautifully said. An incredible way to end the interview. Heather, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to sit down and share in your journey and your story and the beautiful light you put out into the world. I am grateful to call you a friend, to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. I would love for you to share with the audience where people can connect with you, find you if they want to learn more about who you are, what you do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation. I appreciate you so much and what you do. I'd love to connect with people. You can find me on Instagram at Heather Eck Artist. And I've got some freebies on my website for your listeners too. If you go to heathereck.com/thank you.
Beautiful. I will put all the information where people can connect with you in the show notes. Once again, thank you so much for being here with me today, Heather. It has been an absolute pleasure and an honor having you on the show. You are just a beautiful, bright light in this world. So thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Heather Eck. She is an intuitive painter and artist. Have a beautiful rest of your day, Heather, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca. Follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.